Okay, so I'm Jason, you are,
I'm Jamie.
and welcome to podcast. Okay, it is the 4th of January 2013. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New
And
Year.
the first time we're going to talk about is The Walking Dead. I've finally finished that game. After, don't know how many months of putting it off, but I
And
finally finished.
many months and me nagging you constantly to keep
Yeah,
playing.
constantly. I'm glad I did. I'm glad you did nag me because I had it set in motion that I'd play I played the third episode last Thursday, and then I got ill on Friday, and I was out, ill on Saturday also, and then Sunday I was like, no, right, and then I'll play it Monday. And I done an episode. I was going to go back and do episode. I was going to wait until my internet was upgraded. I was going to stream episode 5. But then I thought, no, I can't because I've just finished episode 4 and I really, really, really want to see what's in episode 5.
And I don't think it's wise to do that because, as we'll get to later, episode 5
Oh, yeah.
is quite heavy.
Okay, let's start with episode 1.
Alright.
How did it grip you? How did episode 1 catch you up?
I suppose the first thing to mention is my first impressions going into The Walking Dead is that Telltale Games, they've got a little backlog of games. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they did a Back to the Future series,
Yeah.
a Jurassic Park season, and I played the Back to the Future one, and it takes place in events after the movies,
Okay.
and it was a good game, same principle, but it wasn't that interesting really. It really was just a simple point and click. Some of the interactions were, between the Doc and Marty were humorous, but it wasn't awe-inspiring. So when I heard The Walking Dead come out, I generally thought it was just going to be, it's just a cheap rip-off of the TV show. And I'm a very big fan of the TV show.
Yeah.
So I bought the first episode. This was back in May. So I was just thinking, I'll give it a go. It only lasts about, say, two hours per episode or something like that, depending on how you play it. So I played it.
2.5.
2.5 hours if you take your time. And I'd have to say that I was pleasantly surprised because it's a point and click game, but I think what kept me going in the first episode it was the interaction with the characters. It's a very character driven story, and episode 1 it's kind of like the pilot of a TV show. You want to give everyone a rough idea of what's going on, introduce some of the characters, but don't give them really much of information. So at the end of episode 1, you just find yourself thinking, I want to know more about these people.
I think it got me was that it was a point and click game, and I love them, and I quite like quick time events. Also, it doesn't really have quick time events. It did kind of mashing A and then pressing a button after. But what got me, and it wasn't until maybe we were in the pharmacy, is when Larry started to really, really piss me off. And then I realised that I'm starting to get really involved in the game, because I'm starting to get annoyed at this character. And then Kenny was annoying me because of what he did before, because he was waving his arms about and had the zombies coming over, and I was just like, don't do that. And I think I knew from then that I was going to start to get attached to these characters.
That's one thing about The Walking Dead is that you're playing as the main character, Lee Everett, who basically at the beginning he's on his way to prison.
Yeah.
And you get the backstory. His wife was sleeping with a judge, I think it was.
Yeah, that's always in the back of your head when you're going through the game, is also.
So he's on his way to prison, and the apocalypse, the zombie stuff happens.
Yeah.
And he meets up with a little girl, Clementine, who we'll get into later, and he. To really kind of
it's quite interesting how they start off with the convict, if you like. You want to know where that's going because it's a convict, and you think, well, what's he done? He's murdered someone. Does that mean he's going to murder someone again? Is he going to murder Clementine when he sees her? Is he going to murder Kenny? And all that. You think, well, is that really going to happen, or was it a genuine mistake? Because they do kind of confront that right at the beginning of the game when he's in the car with the policeman. The policeman goes like that. I don't see much sorrow in people's eyes, or usually by now they're saying they're innocent, and he, I think, knows that he is innocent, well, he's not innocent because he didn't deliberately. He did kill the guy.
That's one thing throughout the series. You don't learn.
Yeah, you don't.
You know the details that he's a convicted murderer. But he's not. He's not a vengeful person.
No, he's not. No.
Because one thing I think the entire game, it's like he's getting a second chance, albeit it's not in the way he'd want. But
yeah.
He's obviously regrets what he did, and he's obviously trying to do right by Clementine.
Yeah.
By being a father figure towards her. And that's one thing I have to say that carries the whole series is the relationship between Lee and Clementine. Because I actually looked up who played Clementine on The Voice. And I've never heard of her before, but her name's Melissa Hutchison, and I thought that was some of the best voice acting I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I think she won best female character in the Spike Gaming Awards.
All right, okay.
Which I think she feel deserves to recon all the awards from that, because it was that's just it's just hard to get over how excellent she is, because
no, she's really good. She is.
Yeah, because
she's brilliant.
It's what you were saying about the pharmacy. You start saying Larry, pain in the ass, or Kenny. Is you almost forget that you're playing as Lee. You start saying, what would I do in that situation? And because there's an online series of The Playing Dead that they talked about that, like these decisions that people made, how every decision you make is recorded.
Yeah.
How a lot of people they do something thinking, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'd be cool. Then Clementine would react to it.
Yeah.
Think, oh God, that's right. She's there.
Yeah, because the decisions are quite, they're quite heavy burdens. You do it in front of Clementine and you think otherwise. You think you do it in front of a kid and you completely think of another way to do it. You don't want to do it. You don't want to kill that person, for example. You don't want to do that.
Exactly. Because another thing I should mention about The Walking Dead is that your decisions reflect the game.
Yeah.
So every decision you make, well, not every decision, but every other decision is recorded.
That's a good episode to episode 2, by the way. Because in episode 2, obviously in episode 1, when you sleep in the barn, and that's what really got me. I don't know why it surprised me so much, but that's what really got me was when you say manure, or you can say shit, or you can say something else. And I said manure, and then when she's at Daisy, the cow, and Duck goes, what's that spell? And she goes, manure, and I just went, my God, that's girl.
I know, she's so adorable. I know, because
I think it just it surprised me because I wasn't expecting it. Because I'm so used to games nowadays just not taking that into consideration. You get plenty of games nowadays that give you multiple choice, but they don't really confront it later on.
There's no real ramifications for what you say. Because do you know one thing I've noticed since I've playing The Walking Dead, a lot more games like that multiple choice conversations.
Yeah.
I believe, not to a degree, but I noticed that in Dishonored you've got that option. When you're talking,
it's not really. It's not to affect the story.
No, but at least it's a change, and I think The Walking Dead has created a lot of buzz because it's essentially an independent game.
Yeah, it's an arcade game. It's a small budget game.
Exactly, and it's done, I think, far better than I expected.
A lot of indie games are managed to poking their way through nowadays, and that's one of the big ones that's managed to get through and become quite popular. Bad thing about that is you got to keep that going. You got to keep the momentum going.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. Because they managed to sneak through with the Walking Dead because like I said, a lot of people probably were quite pessimistic. But now, since season 1 is over, everyone's thinking that was absolutely amazing. What are you going to do now?
Yeah.
No, but when I'm not sure if it's because they've got another project lined up, so I don't know how far away season 2 of The Walking Dead is. But it's basically people are just going to say, season 1 was great, but what have you done lately? People are going to expect more, so they've really set themselves up here. But I wouldn't mind
seeing a video or a prequel of some sort to how things began to happen, and how those characters got there in episode 1, Well, quite interesting to see. Everybody likes an origin story,
It seems like Well, actually, I won't say about the ending. We'll get to that later. But we might as well start talking about decisions. I suppose I'm not. The first major decision is Duck. When you get to the farm, you meet Kenny, you meet his wife Kadja, and the son. Yeah. So actually, you never find out what the son's real name is it? I don't think.
No, it's Duck.
No, they just call him. His nickname's Duck. So basically, Duck is helping. If everyone's watched the show, you know Herschel, who's on the farm, has the son, and he's actually referenced in the graphic novels, but not in the show, I don't think.
Okay.
And basically, zombies basically attack, and they grab Duck and Sean, and you get the option which one do you want to help first. So, Jason, who did you help first?
It was Duck.
You go for Duck?
No, it was Sean. Sorry, no, Sean. I was helping him, and then Kenny took him away.
Do you care to explain why you chose the innocence of a child? You decided
because the child originally annoyed me. Duck annoyed me so much that I would. But it was a tough decision. But my first original decision the reason behind that decision was because Duck annoyed me. That was my main reason. That was mainly why I chose Sean. You know, so.
Well, see, this is difficult. I've played the game several times.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember my first decision. I think I tried to save Duck is because although he was slightly annoying, he hadn't been around me that long. And I was still thinking, well, it's a kid. I really should save the kid first.
Yeah.
But then, of course, Herschel got mad at me, and I had to leave. I think you have to do it anyway.
Does Sean die anyway?
He does, yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, because in another playthrough I tried to save Sean, and yeah, it's just that Herschel isn't as mad as you.
Yeah.
But that's another thing of decisions affecting you, because later when you get to the drugstore, Kenny has he's starting to form an opinion of you that whether if you tried to save his son or didn't.
Yeah.
It's those decisions start to add up.
I mean, I don't know about you, but this is like continuing throughout the series and the episodes. As Kenny becomes a lot more hostile towards my character. I don't know about yours. Especially after the whole Lily incident, he becomes a lot more hostile towards me. Because I didn't choose sides in episode 2. I didn't really choose sides at all.
Yeah, because when you first meet Larry and he's trying to throw Duck out,
yeah,
you get an option. Well, at the time I didn't realise I'd taken a side. I was just trying to calm them down, calm them both down.
Yeah.
And the decision comes up saying that you didn't side with Kenny, and of course that.
Yeah, you know.
Starts making all these little snippets towards you because you didn't back them up.
Gonna have to restart now. She'll remember that. Yeah, but I was an absolute asshole to Larry. He really, really annoyed me. Properly annoyed me. And I was, ever since the end of episode 1 when he punched me, and it goes into episode 2, I was just not for having it. I would rather see him die. But as in episode 2, I was trying to save him when he had that heart attack. And when Kenny killed him, that really genuinely shocked me. And I was really pissed at Kenny, and I don't know why. I think it was because I liked Lily, maybe.
This is a
I was
between
really annoyed at Kenny for doing that.
Well, that's the thing about Kenny, because I really tried to be friends with him.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be my bro. So I didn't take Larry's side. I just tried to. Don't get hostile here, because we need each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I get in trouble for being neutral.
Yeah.
Of course, because my first priority was just take care of Clementine. I don't stuff you guys.
That's always your priority, is to take care. And at the end of episode 2, I didn't take from the car. I didn't take from it at all. I stuck by Clementine and saying no, I don't want anything from the car, while everybody else ransacked it.
Here's a question. When you before Clementine weighed in, were you considering taking from the car? Like, before she raised her opinion, what were you thinking?
No, it wasn't. No, because she was still there. And I think she knew. I mean, to be honest, anyway, they still give you something. And I haven't seen the other decision if you do. I'm sure if you've done it, it's what happens.
Yeah, because my thing was, I felt when I first played it, I took the food.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, if it was me there, well, how often do you come across a car full of food and supplies?
Yeah.
It's not as if we've got plentiful supply, and it's Darwin basically. Now you have to do what you can to get by. You have to take advantage of what's available. And I just thought, I felt really bad, saying taking it even though Clementine didn't want to, but I thought, we have to. And also, who the hell? This is my reasons. If you had a car full of stuff, why the hell would you leave the door open and go out? It's just stupid. That's all. They deserve to lose their stuff. That's what I say.
Yeah.
That's
silly. And that type of environment, it's if you snooze, you lose. Essentially, it's essentially that. First come, first serve. Right. If it's originally yours and then you leave it, in that type of environment, then I would probably take it.
Because then, as we find out in episode 2, there's a lot more work. There's a lot of bad people out there.
Yeah,
prepared to do a lot worse. Episode 2 was the cannibals.
No, the episode 2, yeah. That was. I thought they were friendly at first, but I was always quite wary of them.
Oh,
what's the guy's name that dies? What's the guy that gets killed?
One of the brothers.
The glasses. Do you know the guy that was introduced in episode 2? Yeah, that we never really found out about.
You introduced that character just so it's believable to the viewers that I think it was 3 months had passed. So things would have happened in those 3 months. And they came across Mark.
Yeah.
Exactly. I like Mark.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's just one of the. I think they kind of threw him in just to get cannibalized, essentially.
Because someone had to die.
Someone had to go, and the characters that were there weren't. Larry was going to die anyway, and the rest were really important throughout the story.
I have to think episode 2 is one of my favourite episodes.
Okay.
It's just it felt like, I think that's where a lot of the decisions really, cemented the series. That there's decisions in there that really come into fruition at the end. Being the car, but I'll mention that in a minute. But there was a lot of significant decisions in episode 2. And the first one was when you come across Ben, the son of Ben and his classmates and teacher. Did you chop his leg off or leave him to die?
I chopped his leg off.
Did you?
Yeah. That's if you're going to take someone, and you may as well. If it's not going to work, you're going to have to take the leg off. Turns out, in episode 2, you manage to save him, but it's he dies and infection takes over.
And that's how we learn. That's how we learn about how everyone's already infected.
Yeah, that's our questions out in episode 1. Actually, I was like, how do people become zombies if they get bit? If they get bit, then what happens then?
Yeah,
does it just speed up the process if you get bit? Then
I think what happens with a bite.
That's the way it works.
The bite kills you. It doesn't make you a zombie. I think because when you bite, you get a fever and you become ill.
I can see that.
So it doesn't actually turn you.
It doesn't turn you, but the airborne infection turns you.
You're already infected, so it just kills you. So if the infection wasn't there, you'd just die.
Yeah.
Because it really depends what universe you're in, how what starts a zombie. That's one thing about in The Walking Dead, because it's not. I'm not aware of it being explained how it started.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching the TV show, I'm reading the graphic novels, and there's no real. It just starts off like that.
Yeah.
No, you're already in it, and it might be out. It might be in later volumes. I'm just yet to get there. But that's one thing. It's in the Walking Dead universe. Is everyone's already infected.
Everybody's infected. You just need to die.
So however you die, if you don't destroy the brain, become a walker.
That's crazy. Episode 3 was it's quite long. Episode 3, I found. I think it's just because you go from the camp and then you get attacked, and then you're on the road, and you're doing stuff on the road, and then you're at the wrecked train, then you have to go on the wrecked train, then you have to go to the bridge, I think that's quite a long one. I think that was good to break kind of splitting episode 1 and 2 and 4 and 5.
We should say that in the end of episode 2 kind of sets up episode 3, because in episode 2 you find out the cannibals had to deal with some bandits.
Yeah.
And when that's just one thing. The brothers who are the cannibals. Yeah. You confront them both at separate times. Now, what did you do with the brothers? Did you kill them both, or kill one of them and spare them?
I killed one and spared the other.
Which one did you kill?
I killed the one in the barn and let the zombies get the second one. Know how he shoots Kenny? I just left him. He just says, "Don't walk away from me, Lee," and I just walked away. But I did kill the other one. And the reason why I killed the other one is because I was so angry at him. But then I done it in front of Clementine, and once again that made my decision for the second guy. I wasn't going to touch him because it was in front of Clementine.
So, I heard a sister say that apparently a lot of people did the same as you. They killed him, and then when they seen Clementine's reaction, they reset the game and did it again. Because
I didn't reset the game. It set up for my next decision essentially. I wasn't going to kill the guy. I was just going to leave him.
The first time I played it, because the second time when I played through it again, I did the opposite because of what happened. I killed him as well. And when Clementine seen it, I thought, "Oh God, what have I done? I'm a monster." Because by that time I was just, she loses her hat throughout it. And when you give her the hat, she's like, "Oh, neat." I'm thinking, "Oh, you're so adorable." Remember like the thing you mentioned earlier about the manure?
Yes.
When she says it smells like, and you get to either say that manure, shit, or
nothing.
I said manure, and when she says that to Duck, it's like you knew it, and they both laugh. It's just so cute. It's amazing how they did that.
Okay, we need to move on to episode 3 and 4.
Okie dokie.
Episode 3, obviously the train, and Lily driving away with the...
Oh yeah, we should say that, yes.
Get attacked by bandits.
No matter who you save in the first episode, be it Doug or Carly. Or who did you save in the first episode?
Well, I just saved Carly.
I saved Doug. Because...
So does Doug get shot by Lily?
Yes.
Oh, right, okay, so it does work the same then.
Because cause I chose Doug because he seemed capable. Because Carly, which seemed like a right idiot, and I'll get the radio working. Whereas Doug did that thing with the remote, and I thought, I want this guy. Because in episode 2, he actually creates a barrier around the motel, so when the two brothers come, a bell rings and you hear them. So he was useful. Although, when you have Carly, she convinces you to tell the others about
your past.
About your past and your murder. And so it doesn't come out later. So, either way. But he does die. What happens is when there's a confrontation with Lily's trying to find out who was helping the bandits, that caused the riot. And she goes to shoot Ben, I think. And Doug pulls him away, and then Lily accidentally shoots Doug. And obviously with the playthrough of Carly, she just shoots her point blank. But yes,
that was quite nasty. That caught me off guard.
That was a big thing.
That was a big thing because it's a human killing another human, and that's essentially you haven't seen that yet. You haven't, except for the bandits maybe, but the bandits really didn't kill. You didn't really see that.
Because it was within the group. Did you? In the decision you get here, it doesn't directly affect. It's more how forgiving you are, or how callous. You get the choice of taking her with you and dealing with her later, or abandoning her by the side of the road, essentially leaving her to a supposed doom. Now, in my playthrough, I took her with me.
Yeah, me too.
Because I didn't. I thought leaving her there, that's a bit cold. And I thought,
yeah, especially what happened to Larry.
Just because you're living in a shit world doesn't mean you have to be shit. You know.
Yeah,
you want to be better than that. Be diplomatic. But of course, that bites me in the ass.
Yeah, that makes things worse.
Mm-hmm.
She's clearly not happy with the group dynamic, or she's clearly losing the plot. But it turns out she was right about Ben. It turns out she was absolutely spot on.
That's a complicated thing. Because one thing Kenny does highlight in the game is, after he killed Larry in the meat locker, is she's clearly not dealing with it very well.
No.
But she does raise good points, and because I didn't know, I sided with Kenny, but I kind of did a two-faced thing. Is that when Kenny said we should leave the motel, I was like, yeah, we should. Then Lily said we should stay, and I thought, yeah, we should stay, yeah, totally. Just playing them both. I feel like leaving would be the good thing, because that's what I'd want to do, but they do have a good setup. So I was really I didn't know how to deal with that one.
Mm-hmm. I was just surprised when Ben just said it was me, and just thought, clearly your classmates are dead, and you believe these bandits. They've got your classmates. It's a load of crap.
Yeah.
He's obviously young and quite gullible. My reaction was what, and then I kind of calmed down towards it and kind of. I think my whole objective throughout the game was to keep a level head. I think I had to keep calm through everything and not get involved emotionally in the game.
That's
in the
right.
game. I don't mean out the game, but
it's said in the game how everyone looks up to you.
Yeah.
So you do because you're not only taking care of Clementine, you're also you're the voice of reason. So Lily and Kenny are at conflict, and you're the one that's supposed to come in and say, right, calm down, be the level head here, and that's given to you. Lily gives you the food rations, and you have to choose who to give them to. And of course, I gave mine to Clementine first because
straight to Clementine.
She's my girl, man. I give her the apple. I don't know what happens if you give her anything else, because I gave her the apple and she went, I love apples. And I'm like, that's of course. And I gave them to Kenny, Lily, I'm not sure who else. I think I gave one to Larry and Mark.
I gave one to Mark.
Yeah, I get
because I hated Larry at the time.
Because I thought Lily might be crazy, but we could have something there.
Yeah.
And I gave one to Larry because he might not hate me so much. And do you know when you're with Mark and he asks you why he hates him? Yeah. I said because he's a racist. When I seen that, I thought that's not true, but I'm going to say it anyway because that'll be funny. Just to start the part. See when you're leaving on the train with Clementine. Had you told her about her parents, or were you just keeping her hopes up? Because as you know in the voice message in episode 1, you don't hear it, but it seems like her parents didn't make it, and she keeps going on about she wants to see her parents. We should wait for her parents.
I kept raising her hopes.
You just kept saying
that, but I put a halt to it on episode 4. Can I put a stop to it? And what I did was I cut her hair, let her shoot a gun and all that. But in episode 4, when you're in the house, and when you come back, how he's talking to her alone in the kind of room by themselves.
Yes.
And then I actually say, look, we can't find your parents. And, she starts crying. I just reach out. I don't say anything to her. I stopped it right there. I didn't want to get her hopes up even more. It turns out,
she starts crying and you feel like a right dick.
I know.
That's terrible.
But you put a stop to it right there. It's better that
I said the same thing. When we were on the train, I said, we'll find your parents if we have time. Because, you don't want to break her heart. She's your girl, man. You gotta take care of her.
She seems like she's always sad when you make decisions. She goes, no. And then she puts her face down. She's like, what did I do?
That's just, the voice acting was just spot on. Because it's hard to believe that's a fully grown woman doing that voice.
Yeah.
And I just think some of the facial expressions she makes are just hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, like when she's moving the table and off, she's like, no, with the frown. Yeah. And then you cut her hair, she kind of looks like, oh, God, what's happened?
I mean,
last thing about episode 3 is probably the big thing that Duck gets bitten.
Yes.
And I've said to you before that episodes 1 and 2, I hate Duck, and I know this is in the community of The Walking Dead. A lot of people didn't like him either. And if they got the option, we'd just say, just let the zombies get him. We don't like him.
Yeah.
But see, in episode 3, that bastard, he started to make an impression on me. And I think when it started, when he hears the mystery and he says, "I'll be your ward." Being a reference to Batman, and I thought, oh, you bastard. How did you know I like Batman? And he actually starts becoming useful.
He does, yeah. I mean, I was the same as you. When he started wanting to be the detective and stuff like that, it started to grow on me. And it's just, I think the writers knew that if you started doing that and then take it away, snatch it away from him, you'd be more surprised it's been bitten. You know.
That's one thing.
And I have to ask you about episode 3.
Okay.
What was your reaction to the dream? Did you really think?
I knew it was a dream.
It's okay.
I mean, I did the quick time event anyway, but I think it's because I knew how significant she was that.
Yeah, they wouldn't do it so early in there.
When she said, "I don't feel good," I thought they're going to do something about a zombie here. Because it was a close up and everything. I thought, I knew it wasn't right. It wasn't real. But the Duck thing, because that's when, I mean, The Walking Dead had been, it was dark, but it wasn't, depressing. But this is when it really starts, because I mean, it just goes completely downhill emotional wise. Mm-hmm. And the situation with Duck is that's when you first start.
It's really mellow at the end of episode 3. It's just really, just calm, and you don't know what to do with your character. You just feel like you're just walking up and down all the time and not knowing what to say to people.
This is when it really starts to show you as a gamer, because you're not.
Yeah.
You feel like there's a real sense of responsibility of what you do and say, and I really feel that most people playing this just wants to do the right thing.
I mean, playing this game, I think gamers going into this would be like, oh, I'm just going to be an absolute asshole. It's quick time events. I get to have decisions, and I do that. And every single game that's got a good or bad thing, you can either be good or bad. I'll say I'll be bad. Nope, I can't do it. I can't physically do it because of the choices that come up. It's just my inner good coming in. It's just always make me go to the good side.
I do agree. I think it's just a testament to the writers at Telltale. I think they've manipulated I'd say the majority of gamers perfectly, because they know that you want to become the cool kind of badass.
Yeah. You just want to be that.
The decisions don't let you do that. I mean, they give you the option, but it's just built in a way that you think, I can't do that. I have to look after Clementine. I have to be the voice of reason between Kenny and Lily. I have to look after these. I need to keep my group alive.
There's a good comment. There's a comment I read on YouTube the other day there, and I thought it was a perfect fit to this game, and it was not sure if this game's a psychological test or a real game. And I thought that was a perfect fit, because
I think
it's true.
If you give this game and let someone do a playthrough, you could probably gauge them as them as a person from the decisions they make better than a psychiatric test.
Oh, definitely.
Because the real decision is Duck is when Kenny and Catcher were talking about what to do and he was crying, I was sitting there going, I can't believe this is happening. I felt terrible. I thought, and it gives you the option to say, Catcher can do it, Kenny can do it, or I'll do it. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to be, because I was in leader mode here, and I thought, you know what, I'll do it.
Yeah, I was originally going to do it. Yeah. And then I let Kenny do it.
No, see, I went through with it.
Did you? Okay.
Oh, actually, no, the very first time I didn't, I think.
Mm-hmm. I originally was going to do it, and then it gives you the second option.
The first time I played, I didn't do it because I thought I am not shooting his kid, and then have him go, "You shot my kid, man!"
Exactly.
Thought, the next time I played it, I did shoot him. So,
what I did do, just episode 4, when you're up in the attic and there's a kid there who's a zombie. I did shoot that kid though, because Kenny had shot Duck. I thought he can't go through that again, so I shot the kid in the attic. What did you do?
I know I shot him as well because I thought the same thing.
Yeah, because you can't put a man through that twice. You know,
you know what?
Can't do it.
Kenny was a bow, and I just thought I can't imagine what it's because it's amazing because like the end of episode 5, that's probably the next day.
Yeah,
I mean a lot of time doesn't pass, so I can't imagine how. Do you think if you lose a pet and it stick, I can really
stay with you.
You think I can more what it was to me like to have his wife shoot himself than his kid die. It's got to William Dice, no. So I really endeared me to Kenny, and I felt like I had to look out for him and try and not hide him away, but kind of protect him a little bit because I just thought he'd be a loose cannon from that point on.
If he shot that boy, I think it would come. He just got worse because he starts drinking, and then when Clementine finds the boat, she does find the boat. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And that brings him up a bit.
And that and that brings back the old Kenny of such, where he's chomping down. He's just got one focus, and that's the boat. Get the boat out in the water and just go, and not have a plan.
There's a scene in episode 4 when Ben is starting to feel really guilty about causing, basically causing catches.
He's getting to know him,
and he wants to tell Kenny, and Lee says, "Look, you get the option to encourage him."
Well, I said don't say anything. That's what I
said. Don't, because Lee says, "Look, he should know, but not now because he's got a purpose right now. If you tell him that, it'll destroy him." And that's what I thought.
Although and then it just became,
because when he told me, Ben told me, I thought I should tell Kenny straight away, but it didn't give me the option because I thought, if you've seen any episode of a soap, if you find that and you don't say anything, it's going to come out and cause a shitstorm.
Oh yeah.
Get out of there as soon as possible.
But as it usually happens in soaps, it all comes out when there's arguments and panic, and it does do that.
It does. Yes.
It comes out when there's panic.
It's like an episode of EastEnders, but with the zombies.
I know. He just mentions it, and as soon as he does that, he opens the door and turns around. Here's the question: did you save Ben?
Yes, I saved Ben.
I did save Ben also.
Because
once again, my good feeling taking over, and he's a good kid, and he's just trying to. He's very gullible, but he's just trying to protect his friends. He's dead friends, but still.
He's not a bad person. He's just an idiot.
He's just very gullible, and
I've seen what happens because I looked it up. If you drop him, it's so tragic.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
He's trying to be a hero. He's trying to be a hero and say, "Drop me, just go." But deep inside that he wants you to pull him. He wants you to pull him up. He wants to be the hero, and I didn't really want to let him go. It's a difficult one.
Yeah, because you've put that and you've built up Lee's character, and I just felt he wouldn't do that, and I wouldn't do that either. Because I feel like that was a cowardly thing to do. Just let him drop.
So what happens when he does it? He just drops and dies.
But it's the guilt trip Clementine gives you is unbelievable. So I'm glad I didn't do it because it's just it's horrible.
Yeah.
Because when you get back, Kenny just totally throws you out to the wolves essentially, and Clementine runs off crying. Cute Kenny.
Yeah, because Kenny starts to care.
Yeah. Because Kenny by that point hates Ben. I didn't like him either, but I thought that's just not. Oh, it got me thinking that if Kenny was in all these situations that Lee's in, what the hell would it be like? Because
he's a mess.
He's too intertwined with his emotions. I think that he lets his heart rule over his head.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah, his emotions are very...
There wouldn't be a game. There wouldn't be a game if Kenny was in.
Yeah, he'd mask everybody. I don't know if you've noticed it, but see Kenny's voice. I'm not sure, but I think the guy that voices him also has a mustache. Because they sit. Do you know when someone with a mustache talks, you get that sound?
Yeah.
Because I heard that and I thought, if that's done on purpose, then the voice acting here is fantastic. It's just done so well.
Talking about the end of episode 4. Well, the episode 4 is the kind of beginning of episode 5.
Mm-hmm.
Were you expecting those people to be thieves?
It's not about
you expect them to attack them, and take the boat and go. Because originally, I'm talking about the doctor and the rest of the people.
The cancer patient. Yeah,
they were talking about what was the name of the place? The bad place? What's forgotten name? Crawford. Yeah, see, Crawford. At the end of that, when he's up in the bell tower, and he goes, "Have you guys been at the train?"
Mm-hmm.
He didn't originally know about the train. Do you remember? You don't mention anything about the train, how you got there.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "Have you seen the train?" And then he thinks, well, and then I think that was based on that decision right there, that he becomes a thief and takes the boat.
Yeah, because I think
because he knows he can get away. It's the doctor, and he knows he can take his people away because the Crawford lot are dead.
Yeah, because did you take Clementine with you to Crawford?
Yes. No. She managed to escape.
Oh, so
No, wait a minute. No, that's when you meet Molly, right? I didn't take her to meet Molly, but it was just me and Kenny. But I took her to Crawford. Yeah. I think that's it.
I knew to take it to Crawford because by this time I had kind of grown accustomed to how The Walking Dead is manipulative. Mistress, and I thought the obvious answer here is to say no, but we're talking about The Walking Dead here. I'm going to say it's going to be advantageous to take her because something's going to happen, and it does. Albeit things kind of transpire similar if you don't, but she does hold her own because she throughout the series there is situations where she helps you get out the meat locker. And all of it, she takes point that she helps you when you're in the abandoned train station. You get in.
Mm-hmm.
So she's proved useful. So I thought I'm going to take her because the group says, "What you doing taking?" I went, "Excuse me."
Yeah, you don't have a say in this.
Yes, and I shut up. Yeah, so I took her.
I can't believe Nev the Doctor wanting to take Clementine.
How did you react to that? That's another.
I was very angry. I took the angry route.
I was diplomatic with him. When I first met him, he pointed the gun at me. I was like, "Sorry, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm your friend."
Yeah.
Because when he said that, I thought, can you imagine that if you're looking for someone and you went, "I'll take her off you, your daughter off you," like, fuck you.
Exactly.
I
thought it was incredibly rude at first to say that as well.
If I could have put my own voice in it, I went, what makes you think your group's much more safer than mine? For one thing, you're
a bunch of thieves.
No, for one thing,
I know that at first, but
this is even before that. I think, well, you're all ill, so what's the fact you're in remission, your illness could come back. There's no, just because you've had kids doesn't mean you need to get back. People in this group have had kids, and you're living underneath in a morgue. So I don't see how your situation is any better than ours.
Oh no, it's it enraged me. I wasn't happy about him coming out and saying that. That's incredibly rude to do that. And he thinks, he's known you 5 minutes and he's made that decision. We can take her off you.
I was honest with him.
I think just talking about it now, I think that group was the ones that took Clementine and gave them to that guy.
We won't mention that yet. We'll get to that. Yeah, the guy. And the bit just before we go into the final episode, at the end of episode 4, is that this really shocked me, and I was in denial. Because the one thing about The Walking Dead is it's not a happy story. It's very depressing. No one has a happy ending or even a really happy day. It's just misery all over the place. Tough decision after tough decision. There's no. The only rest you get is the wait between episodes. And basically Clementine was missing, as you were saying.
Yep.
Finds the hat and sees the walkie-talkie. which she had reason to talk to
her
parents. But
do you have the option to look back, to pick up the walkie-talkie or have a little nosy?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to me was I nosied first and then accidentally pressed the walkie-talkie button. So I just left it.
Same thing happens either way.
But eventually you get bit.
I went because I mistakenly went to pick up the walkie-talkie first, and of course
my reaction was one of genuine reaction, and it was, oh my god, I've just been bit. What the hell's going to happen? That was. I was like, oh no. I was just like, I was in denial.
My first reaction was essentially these. I was just sitting there going, oh, fuck no. What am I climbing? No, I can't. I'm not going to see her. She's not going to.
Yeah, it's so weird what it does. What it does is that you're in denial, you've been bit, and then your mind races to what other people, races straight to Clementine.
And you start thinking, there'll be a cure. He'll get out of it. He wasn't really bitten because there was a scratch. It'll be fine. Because by that point, you are just completely devoted to everybody. And
did you hide or show the bite?
Now here's the thing. When I first played it, because it saves in parts.
Yeah.
I originally didn't show the bite, and I went on my own. But when I went back, but then before that, I went back and I had to replay that last bit. So I decided I hid the bite, but I took everyone with me.
Okay.
Then it's weird. My Xbox point shows I've got 100 points missing, even though I do have them. It just doesn't show. It just says 400, and it's weird. But even though it says they're there, but it just went. And that's what caused it. That's kind of annoyed me. So I had to replay that. But yeah, I hid the bite, and took everyone with me because I thought I'm going to do it.
I hid the bite and went alone. Alone.
Yeah.
Which then sets up to episode 5, where the beginning was very Saw-like. The beginning of Saw. Would you like to play a game by cutting off your own arm?
I felt that was. I don't know if that was a direct nod because
I don't know. I remember
this is based on the graphic novels, because that's one thing is that the graphics aren't, glitz and glamour like most platform games, but that's deliberate because the illustrations are very, very like drawings of the graphic novel, which I've been reading. I think you've started as well. So it's it's not meant to be polished. And I think the game would lack, I think, if it had that polished look.
Yeah.
Because the grittiness of the image, it fits the world.
That was tough for me. I mean, I'm used to gore movies and stuff, but I'm not too bothered if someone gets their arm chopped off. But if it comes clean off, I'm fine. But in that scene, especially, and I'll talk about Saw as well, in Saw 6 when she does it as well, the woman, it's just that slow motion. It's like, hurry up and cut it off kind of thing. Because it's so gross because you're taking your time. It's horrible.
I think that's just a testament again. I feel like I'm just blowing smoke here. How much better I think the Walking Dead, the story of that is the best game I've ever played. It's because any other game I've played, even if it's been a good game, I'll just throw it in, like the Max Payne game. I love that series, and I played 1 and 2 on the PC, way back, and I played the most recent one. And I love those games. But, like say, gore's fine. I could easily just walk up to a kid in Max Payne and shoot it, and I just wouldn't care. I think I'd just kill everybody. There's a woman walking her dog, bang, bang, dead. But in The Walking Dead, that's the last thing I would do. I'd help that lady walk her dog. I would, instead of shooting the kid in the face, I'd, give him a pound and send him to the sweet shop or whatever. I don't know. I suppose that would be kind of looked dodgy upon these days, but
yeah,
I would give him friendly advice and send him on his way. But cause it's just really, don't want to offend anybody.
And then of course you do. Moving on to the next part of it's climbing. You do everything all by yourself, so it's like being back at episode 1. That's what I found. That was great. I thought, doing everything by yourself. You could have took people with you, but I thought it was great that I was by myself, because it was just like a throwback to being yourself in episode 1, minus an arm. But it was quite fun to do that. I thought.
So
do things by yourself.
So in the first your playthrough, you cut off the arm then?
Yes.
But in mine, I didn't. Because just when I took everyone with me, you know, when you pass out and then you hear the voices going, "Oh, we'll cut his arm off," and because I remember in the TV show that, you know, same with Herschel in the TV show gets bitten in the leg and they chop his leg off, you know, pretty much instantly.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, you know, get infected. So you know, I had that in my mind, but in the forefront, I just kept thinking, "Cut off my fucking arm," you know, because I just kept forgetting how, you know, I was putting myself in it. Like, if it was me, I'd be saying, "Don't cut off my damn arm." And it was also that when I got thinking about it, I thought, well, it's been, how long has it been since I was bitten?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I think too much time's passed, but it's in my system. So I didn't cut off the arm. I kept it because just thought, you know, I kind of, you know, it's a bit late now, and I'm not cutting off my arm, and I like my arm.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought it was quite interesting. Like, I did it by myself and thought it would help, but it didn't. And when you're climbing, when you're with Omad, is it Omad or Omid? I don't know.
Omid. That's the thing. You meet two characters, Omid and Krista, in episode 3. After lose. Yeah.
Did you want them to take over as parents for Clementine?
I did.
Or did you want Kenny to do it? Yeah, I liked those two.
I did, because when I bonded with Omid over Southern History, I thought they seem a bit like, I mean, Omid, he does seem a bit of a, I wouldn't say a weasel. He's kind of a, you know, a very timid guy. He seems like he could really, like, when, you know, his back's to the wall, he could step up.
Yeah.
And of course, with, it's never said, but you know, what I said at the end, that Krista's pregnant. So they didn't have that family quality already. So I thought they could, because I don't want to send her off with Kenny alone. As much as you know, Kenny was my bro. He seemed to.
Yeah, if he was to lose another one,
and that's like I was saying, how he acts, you know, heart over head, and I think in certain situations he might make the wrong decision and not give, you know, not set the proper example that I've been setting for Clementine. And I thought Omid and Krista was, because I think, I'm not sure who says it, that, you know, in the chaotic world, you strive for something normal. And there's nothing more normal than a family setting, and that's what I thought. So I wanted her to go with Omid and Krista.
Okay, and now we come to the bit I don't want to talk about, but we're gonna have to talk about it anyway. Let's talk about the end.
The ending, right? This is, without mentioning it yet, I have never been more devastated at the end of the event of a game in my life, and I don't think I ever will again. Actually, I think probably the end of season 2, I probably will as well.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm not going to say I'm a, and I do get emotional at certain things. It doesn't happen very often. No, but I can get moved. But I've never had a game literally have caused me to shed tears, essentially.
Yeah.
How sad it is. I was actually I had a waterfall running down my face at one point. It was horrible. And it just kept going on. And
the thing that got me about the end, and it was a slow ending, right? It's when you're walking when you've just killed the guy who's kidnapped Clementine, and you're you're smothering her and God knows what.
We should mention that first before we go into it, that the food you steal from in episode 2.
Yeah, the guy who, you know, guy who was in the car in episode 2, and he takes Clementine. He's been talking to Clementine and following us. And
he tells you,
do you know what? No. Do you know what? And I tell you what, see when you go, I don't know if you noticed this, but see when you go into the hospital, did you notice the car?
Yes, I did.
That was the moment. That was the moment for me, because I just went, "Oh my God, that's the bloody car."
And that's when it clicked on me that whoever
the penny dropped.
Because then it hit me. Because I remember before episode 5, people were saying how this really, when all these decisions start, you know, the effects appear. And when I seen that, I thought, oh shit.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Because I took it, and when you're talking with the guy, it's almost like season wrap up, he highlights everything you've done. He said,
exactly, yeah.
Like I think when you saved Carly, he says, "Oh, you just chose a little woman over a man." You know, basically, because that's.
I mean, how did you know that was before? You know, it's crazy.
Remember, he says he was talking to Clementine.
Yeah, he's been talking to Clementine, but no, I was just like that. Whoa.
Because I remember he says, "No." Lee says, "Oh, you have those pretend conversations with your parents." Well, now we know. Yeah. She was talking to somebody. Master, he highlights everything you've did, and you just it's like how either you shot the kid or you didn't shoot him and you left him there, and he just paints you as a horrible person. The whole time you're trying to plead with him.
Yeah, to get Clementine back.
Clementine's in the back room, and she actually helps you.
Yeah, she sticks out and.
Right, do you know what happened in my playthrough? You get into a struggle with him.
Yeah.
Start choking him. And I was choking him, but I knew Clementine was in. I thought, I'm really seeing Lee's on his last legs here, and I thought, I don't want my partner to think to kill this guy, so I loosened my grip, because it was a quick time event, I think. And I slowed down. And, then he knocked me off, and then Clementine shot him.
Yeah, that happened to me.
Yep. Clementine killed him, and I thought, I was speechless, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, she shot him.
And
that's because you taught her.
Yeah, exactly. That's she's doing what needs to be done. And this is also a nod to the TV show that because Lee's been a walker, when he opens the door, a walker's there. I mean, it doesn't bite him because he's covered in muck. Which we should call back when you go through that horde of walkers towards the motel. How much of a badass did you feel? That with the music going and the
cleaver.
That was fantastic. Cutting them all down, so you...
Yeah, because you were angry. You were angry that someone's taking Clementine.
I don't know if it was possible to get killed there, but I was like an MFer. I was,
I was not happy.
See when you're covering her with muck, to get through the walkers, and you have that high angle shot of her.
Yeah.
How innocent does she look?
I know.
And
she hates it. She absolutely hates it. But then that's when you know.
When she looks up at me, my heart just sank. That's when it started going downhill for me because I knew what was going to happen.
I'll tell you my bit where it really hit me. But after the bit you're talking about is we go through the zombies and she sees her parents, and that is such a shame for her because she's been trying to get her parents.
That's been her driving force.
That's been her goal, is to look for her parents, and then obviously Lee passes out, and she knows her parents are there. So I don't know how she does it, but she drags you somewhere, and gets you in there. And this is the bit it got for me, and it was just horrible. It was horrible because it was the bit where you were talking to her not at the radiator, before the radiator, before she helps you to the radiator. You know how she helps you? Mm-hmm. And she was going, there was a conversation, and Lee goes, "I'm dying," and she goes, "No." And it just hit me right there. Mm-hmm. It was horrible. It's just, and I knew I knew I was dying, but she was absolutely distraught after Lee saying that.
That's what it was. What it was Clementine I was thinking about the whole time. And it was just do you know what it was? It was the fact that Lee was struggling to talk.
Yeah.
And Clementine was just, when the tears started rolling is when she said, I lost my parents, I don't want to lose you as well. Do you know, I'm getting emotional just talking about it. I can feel it, and I was just...
I know, it's horrible.
I just thought... horrible. If I knew it wasn't, if I almost forgot it was a game, I'd have been sitting there going, no. And just, you get the option. I was talking with Darryl, who played it, and talking about the ending, and I said that one of the last things I said was, I'll miss you, and he said I didn't say that because I couldn't have taken it. I said, well, it's a good thing you didn't because I said that, and it was just that, so it was gone, because I think my mum was outside my room, mopping up, and I was just sitting there on my hand on my head's going, "Oh God, don't come in right now," because I'm just playing a video game.
What I did like was the when you're talking her through, open the door, take his keys, and then she gets caught by the zombie, and you pass the bat to her. I like that because that is the physical word. The physical saying is passing the baton to someone, and I thought that was really clever, passing the bat to her. What you're obviously doing there is I don't know if you will or not. This is just an observation. If you take control of Clementine in the second season, you essentially are passing the bat to her as a main character. You're giving your main character status to her. To take over, and she can. She's great.
That's one of the many rumors that they're being very stumped, and I think they should be about season 2 and how you possibly be taking over Clementine or fighting you'll find out who those two people in the hell are, because I don't think it's Omid and Krista, because I think that
in the back of my mind I know it's not, but I'm telling myself it is.
If it was any other game I would say it was, but like I said with the Crawford thing, because it's Telltale, I just don't think it is.
It's not.
Because I think Clementine she wasn't sure either.
She gets the seer at the end. She kind of stops and goes, "Oh God," and that's when the credits go. Well, the credits are big, but that's when it ends. Yeah. How sad was the song at the end of credits?
Oh, I remember the first thing I asked you when you texted me, you finished it. I said, "How long does it take to get over it?" Because those entire credits.
I sat there for ages. The credits didn't make it any better. And I just sat there. I felt deflated. I don't know if you felt like that as well. I felt really deflated, and I just sat there and just like, bloody hell, what has this game done to me?
I didn't know what to do, because when because I think from every episode they get released about 12 o'clock, I think, on a day. That's when I used to download, because I feel like a kid at Christmas. Every time the episode was coming the next day, I'd go up at 10 o'clock to play it, and it wasn't there yet, and I was saying, come on! And I think episode 5 is quite short. I think it was the shortest of the series.
It was the shortest, because when I was recording it as well, it was about 80 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, about an hour and a half, and so it was about, say, half one. And I remember my mum came in at one point in the room, and then went out again, and the whole time I was just sitting in the silence going, I was just staring at the screen going, Jesus, I managed to close myself that time. I was thinking going, my God. Because I was playing it in May, and the episode came out every month, and you don't believe how hard that was to wait a month for it. And usually, to pass the time in between waiting, I'd play the episodes again. So episodes 1 through 4, I played probably 4 times. But episode 5, I could.
You will not play.
I couldn't, because if I could play through the episode, but just when it got to that part, I thought I just can't watch that again. It's horrible.
That was horrible. I mean, when you text me saying what was your decision at the end, like, did you say you miss her, go and find someone? I had to watch it to see what I did. I completely forgot. And I just could. It's hard to stomach the ending again. It's really quite difficult to watch through. It's just. I'm actually in the process of uploading the parts to YouTube at the minute. And I'm dreading uploading that last part.
What do you want to watch out again?
Yeah.
What did you say? I think you said it to Omid and Krista. Because I told them to go to the countryside.
I was so confused. But I did tell them to go to the countryside. But see when you're on the sign, it broke and you walk through the zombies and stuff. I didn't say them to go anywhere. I didn't say go to the train station or the boat. I just told them just go somewhere.
I said the countryside.
And I'll leave this in a last thought about The Walking Dead is, do you think that they'll carry over your decisions from season 1 to season 2? Or do you think they'll start over again? Because
after episode 1 finished...
but it is possible to do it because Mass Effect do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just that, all the characters go in, and I think the only way they could do that is if Clementine would mention it, or if Omid and Krista show up, they would just mention how things happen, and that might affect how they interact with each other. So, Actually, it is going to carry over because a report from Telltale said don't delete your save files, keep them.
Okay.
So don't delete them. I think.
I never delete my saves anyway.
I just say, well, don't do anything with them because you will probably need them. It'll be like Mass Effect that you could probably play on without them, but it's better if you have them. So
all right, leave it on.
Season 2 is up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen with it, but I'll say overall impressions, Jason. First thing, what is your conclusion on the game and your rating for it? And do you think?
Right. So my conclusion is that it is a very, 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 very emotional game. You will get emotionally attached to it. I was originally bored at first when I first played it, but as I said at the beginning of the podcast, it was Larry that really angered me, and that's when I knew it was taken over. So don't give the game a chance. Play episode 1. It's free on Xbox, I think, just now, and it's also free on iOS. So play it, but it's cheap anyway. It's 400 points. Play it, and it's taking the number 1 spot in my Game of the Year list. It's 5 out of 5.
Yes, it is. In fact, it's because it's won over 20 Game of the Years. So it's it's not just us that think it's brilliant. I mean, like say Spike TV Video Game Awards gave it Game of the Year, Clementine Best Female Character. The guy voices Lee, Dave Fennoy, I think his name is. I'm not sure. He who by the way has golden dreadlocks and is awesome. I'd like to meet that guy. Yeah, I can't go over how fantastic it is. The story is brilliant, and the characters are brilliant, and the writing's brilliant. It's my kind of game. It had everything that I wanted. Because
give it a chance.
I'm not really. I'm more of a single player game because I know titles like Call of Duty and Halo. They're good games, but they're really I think the selling point of them is the multiplayer. And to me, that's just it doesn't make. You can have a good multiplayer, but I want an experience. That's like my thing. I'm drawn to an experience, so that's what The Walking Dead is. It's just extremely a character-driven experience.
It's an experience. There we go. That's the word.
That's to describe it. It's an experience.
It's an experience.
Quite frankly, I say the day I finished it, Twitter was just loaded with people just saying I was crying my eyes out, and I'm surprised. I'd be surprised if anyone that played that didn't even come close to shedding it, because it's so emotional.
400 points, Xbox Live Marketplace.
Fully recommend it. First episode's free, and
Power free on iOS.
They're all there, and
on Steam also.
I'd give it. I'd say I'd give it 10 out of 10. It's probably. It's not. There's a lot of other games that do better, but this just hit the home run for me. This is the kind of game I like, and obviously Telltale Games did a fantastic job, and I really can't wait for season 2. So I'd give it 10 out of 10. I just say it's phenomenal.
Kudos to Telltale Games. All right, moving on to our Game of the Year. We've already mentioned what our Game of the Year is. I'll give you 5 spots. Number 1 spot is obviously taken up. So what is 2, 3, 4, and 5 for you?
Well, see, I'm trying to think. I've recently got back into gaming this year, so I'm trying to think. Well, what can have been 1? I'd say another game that I really liked was Max Payne 3. I don't want to put them in any order because I really have to think about it. But I'll just say like games that I really enjoyed. But yeah, Max Payne 3 because I was very skeptical about it because I said in the previous part I was a big fan of 1 and 2. And it was just the graphics were really dodgy for that time. I played it on PC, and when I seen the stills of Max Payne, he's shaved and he's in Brazil. It doesn't seem like Max Payne. I mean, unless it was snowing or it's not Max Payne. But I have to say, like Rockstar, who I really shouldn't have doubted them because they've got a phenomenal record with games. And I've talked to you later how in 2013 they've got the flagship, GTA 5, which I'm guessing is going to probably be Game of the Year for many.
Rock the boat.
Yeah, it's going to probably going to be Game of the Year for many people this year. But yeah, Max Payne 3, just the bullet time I thought was a big thing.
That was really good. I missed it when I played Max Payne. I missed bullet time so much. I don't know what it was. It was just brilliant. Just going And then when they did that, like, kind of close-up angle, sometimes when you shot someone, you just keep shooting them all the time, you can still shoot them.
Because one thing that they really did with this game is they made it quite over the top. Like when you're in the nightclub and you push that guy through the window, you shoot, and it's just completely ridiculous. But it's just so entertaining. So yeah, Max Payne 3 is definitely on there, and you mentioned you. We'll go back and forth. So
I'll go with mine as well.
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed 3.
Okay then.
You played through that. I played through that. Right. We know what it's about. I really liked Assassin's Creed 3. I was disappointed with the ending. I will say the ending was pretty crap. But it was a good enough ending for me. It was a good enough Desmond ending, if you know what I mean by that. You'd already went through as Desmond. You kind of know his story, and you knew that 2012 was the year that he was going to die, or something was going to happen to the world. It was either him or the world, essentially, and it ended up being him. And as I've said to you, if you were given a choice in the end, I would have made the world. I would have destroyed the world. But you weren't given the choice, and Desmond dies.
Yeah, because the ending it starts to feel like a sort of multiple choice where it pans out that you can either destroy the world or let things happen.
It seemed it was going that way. It seemed it was going to be a multiple choice, but it wasn't.
Yeah, because I would have let things.
The gameplay was great. I loved it. I loved the whole hunting, climbing trees, and it was different from the other two. Well, the other four, I should say. It was just great. Just going through. See, I know it was animated, but see, running through an empty building, you could run through a building. I know you couldn't do that by yourself. I thought that was really good the way they just animated that. I thought that was great. You could do that and go through buildings, and your crossbow, not your crossbow, your bow and arrow, and I wouldn't say I was blown away by it, but I thought it was a good contrast between 2 and 3. It was definitely.
Yeah. Well, I have to say for the same reason. I won't go into as much detail, but I'd say Assassin's Creed 3 as well. But like I said, the ending was. Well, see, I went in with low expectations because I already knew what a lot of people had been saying about it. So I was basically just waiting to see, how is it a letdown, and it's just just like that saying, I went out with a whimper. I didn't go out with a. I went out with a whimper.
Yeah, it did go out.
It wasn't. It does seem like it's. I mean, it's going to continue the story. I'm not sure who with, but it said.
Yeah.
Because Desmond was really the main character for all these games.
Yeah, he was the main character.
Yeah,
and Ezio was a sub character, a second kind of character in the game. He wasn't the main lead. If they were to separate the game into a history based game, like one separate game, Desmond being one of the recent times, modern times, and Ezio being another. Ezio would have. Or all the incarnations would have been the main character, but Ezio, Desmond's always been the main character throughout Assassin's Creed. He's always had that role, whereas the ancestors are, just the second character in the game.
I think a lot of people tend to forget about the character Desmond because they're more interested in just being the assassin, and
that's who the focus is on. It's on Desmond. You are essentially playing as Desmond. You're playing as one of his ancestors, but it's still Desmond's the main character.
I mean, you've already highlighted how the positives of Assassin's Creed, and one thing I like about how it's, instead of just all being in a city, you're out in the wilderness. Because you start off as Haytham, then
I really liked Haytham. I don't know why.
I did as well. He was a very distinguished person. And it turns out, obviously, he's a Templar. And then you have become his son. What's his name again? Connor. You become Connor, the Native American. And you're in the wilderness and you hunt animals and fight bears. And one, I'll say some complaint I had was a lot of the travelling just seemed very tedious. You were just
no, that's what the original Assassin's Creed, the very first one, did. Mm-hmm. Was there was a lot of travelling on horseback, and I think they were trying to kind of go back to that kind of gameplay. When you were in the back, you're out in the middle of nowhere.
When you can do fast travel, it was just annoying, I found. And also because you were in,
Well, that's the norm nowadays. People are lazy. Gamers are lazy and they don't want that. Oh, do I have to go that far? And that's what scares me about GTA. Is GTA 5. Well, they do have it. If you fail missions in GTA at the minute, as they had in San Andreas, is you can do a quick skip, so you can just get straight into the mission rather than watch the cutscene all over again, or get to, like, say you have to travel really far, you can just press up twice, you're at the destination. But I'm hoping they don't do the fast travel in GTA, because it's just something I just.
I've never had that.
It's like Skyrim, because Skyrim is massive, absolutely massive. And there's a lot of detail sometimes you just don't want to go on horseback all the time and just get to, sometimes you just want to do a mission and get it out of the way, I'm saying that. But anyway, Assassin's
Creed 3, yeah. Another game, it really came out of nowhere. I heard nothing about it. It was Sleeping Dogs.
Yes.
I said what a lot of people dub as, the Asian GTA.
Yeah. Well, you've got to remember that series was originally True Crime, owned by Activision. Then Activision dropped it. Square Enix took it up because it was originally meant to be released in August of 2011, and Activision dropped it 2 months prior to that. Again, Square Enix bought the rights, and they obviously developed it from True Crime to their own franchise, Sleeping Dogs, and they've done a brilliant job. I thought it was really good.
It did, because it was all, games like that, they're always going to fall victim to, their likeness. People are just going to say, oh, it's a cheap GTA, but it's a lot more than that. Because it has that free world aspect.
Yes.
Which I think seems to be a growing thing. A lot more games are trying to do that. And I think that's something that GTA really popularised. Kind of like, with, Cloverfield and Blair Witch doing the Found Cam, now everyone's doing it.
Yes, yeah.
And I just feel, it wasn't perfect, but it was a game that you could devote a lot of hours to, and it really kept your attention.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing about it is, I wish it had some more, how you could influence the story, like at the end.
A lot more decisions.
More like how The Walking Dead, that you make a decision and that affects the story in a way. Like how the ending, you can decide whether to.
Yeah, the story was linear. There wasn't decisions, and the game wasn't linear. You could do a lot of things. Pick flowers on a mission, for example. That wasn't a favourite of mine, but. It was good. The story was linear, but the game was open. Which is like a lot of games.
It just seemed like also there's a few things that didn't really go anywhere. How the relationships you had with those women, it just right.
But then
you never had them again.
You could say that, but then if that was to happen, if they start putting stuff like that in, it'd be like, oh, that's copying GTA, or that's copying Rockstar. I don't think they want that. It's a shame. Well, GTA is one of my favourite series, but it has such an influence on other sandbox games and other open world games. It's people start comparing it to GTA. It's a shame, really.
Well,
and even Red Dead Redemption gets it as well, even though that's made by the exact same company.
The thing about GTA is it's not a serious game. It's very light-hearted. It doesn't have a lot of violence in it. It's a joke game, basically. The content. It's not to say it's talking in the game, but it's not to be taken seriously. You see how a lot of the buildings are basically just like sex puns, and it's very over the top. Destroying helicopters with rocket launchers. Whereas like Red Dead Redemption and Sleeping Dogs are more based in reality.
More of the series, they're more reality. I agree with that. They're more reality based.
To use a verb, I think it's going to, I'm going to start using more. It's been Nolanized.
Okay.
The Batman movies, you know, you're taking something quite ridiculous and making it more real and dark. So, you know, Sleeping Dogs and Red Dead Redemption are an old-nized version of Grand Theft Auto. That's just my opinion.
So Sleeping Dogs is another one. I'm going to mention one that you probably don't want me to mention. And it's already been out a few years on the PC, but it's come out this year on Xbox, and it's Minecraft.
Right, well, tell you what, I'm just going to sit back and I'm just going to let you talk about it. I've got nothing to say about Minecraft.
Minecraft is one of those games I played on the PC with a friend, and I enjoyed it, but then it stopped working for me. I was quite interested to hear that it was out on Xbox this year, and I was waiting for it. And it's just one of those games you could play and 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 never, ever. You know, you can get bored of it and go away and come back the very next day and be absolutely fine with it. You can build absolutely anything you want, essentially, as long as it's blocks, as long as it's made out of blocks. Any block you want. Especially online as well. Online's really good. You can either build stuff in creative mode, or you can go all the way to survival mode and, you know, kill skeletons. And it's got this thing now. It's not quite an Xbox. It's coming up in the next update, but it's called The End. Essentially, you can go to the end of the game. There is an end to Minecraft.
How can there be an end to a game that doesn't have a story?
Wrap your head around
that. What is there a story in Minecraft?
Create a story in Minecraft by going to the end. I've seen plenty of people on YouTube do that. Like, for example, a guy called Yamimash who does that. The guy called one of his friends called Shane. They've done a journey to the end, and that's creating a story. But it's creating a story between those two and how they get to the end. So I thought you are kind of creating a story, but it's for you. It's your story. You know, you're making the story. How you go about it. You're making all those decisions. But yeah, Minecraft is up there for me. I don't think I can say any more, but it's an awesome building game and survival game. It's really good.
Yeah, I can probably imagine it's very like a game like Sims.
It's essentially Lego, except on a digital platform.
It's like those games like The Sims and Age of Empire, that it's a very simple concept, and you think if you were to describe it, you think, how the hell would you play that for hours? But I remember when you play The Sims, you go on at 9 in the morning, and the next time you look at the clock, it's 7 at night, and you think, what the hell? I've just lost a day. Yeah, so I can understand Minecraft's appeal, but it doesn't draw me in at all.
Okay, one more game to go. Taking first spot.
Well, it came out a few years ago. Like,
should we throw a wild card or? Well,
I'm gonna kind of cheat. I'm gonna kind of cheat here because it didn't come out a couple of years ago, but I only played it this year.
Right. Okay.
I was Alan Wake.
Okay. Right, okay.
Because I came out in 20.
Well, Nightmare came out this year. So.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I'm bending the rules, but yeah, it works. So I played Alan Wake this year. So that was one of the first game when I registered with Love Film. I had a look at games I've missed, and I thought, I'll get Alan Wake, and I loved it. It was the first game in a while that really pulled me into the story. Kind of like how The Walking Dead did. I wasn't endeared to the character, but I cared what was going on because it was very shrouded. Have you played Alan Wake?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's the story for a long time. I had no idea what was going on.
It's confusing.
At first, I thought it's in a dream. But no, this is the real world. No, it's a dream. I kept going back and forth. I wasn't sure what was going on. Then you think, no, that can't be real. Or is it real? I want to know what's going on. No. So I was just fascinated the whole time, and I thought it was really clever how you had that. What was the fake TV show in it?
Oh, Spring Nights.
Yeah, something like that. It's a fake TV show, and they have. Do you know what? I really like that because I don't know if you ever watched, like, when I was a kid, I used to watch things that was like Ghost Bumps and Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. I remember all these little things for kids, and they scared me. And I was watching them, and the stories they came up with, I thought they were really short, and I think they only lasted about 30 seconds. Even in the game, I just stayed and watched them. And it was a very creepy game, and I wish I had the headsets where I was playing it because when I was playing it even with my TV, but I did jump at a few parts.
Like the shopping trolley. Not the wheelbarrow, sorry. No,
honestly, I couldn't get by that. It didn't give enough time to destroy it with the lights. And yeah. Oh, I should probably mention that. Was a scene.
Well, that could be the wild card. It wasn't really released this year, but you found out about it this year. And
yes, and I played the American Nightmare, which wasn't as good, but
it's an arcade game, so it's expected.
And I found that band from it that I love it. Poets of the Fall. I don't know if you should really download their stuff because they're really, really good. Because I forget the song. It's War. And I looked them up and that's fantastic. They're great. So not only was it a good game, get a good band out of it.
All right, so that's our Gamers of the Year 2012. Walking Dead being number 1. We're not sure about the rest, but number 1 is definitely Walking Dead. I'll put a video up and you'll see eventually who I made, but Walking Dead is number 1.
Definitely.
We've got Assassin's Creed, Alan Wake, Sleeping Dogs, and Minecraft. So our next topic is Most Wanted Games of 2013. So, obviously, we'll not talk about GTA, because if we talk about GTA, we could go on for ages.
Yes.
GTA 5.
It speaks, like I've said before, it speaks for itself. You just need to say GTA 5 and everyone just gets it. You don't need to say why. Okay.
One I'm looking forward to is BioShock. BioShock Infinite. And I'll tell you why, because I played the first one. When I first got my Xbox, I got GTA 4. And then I got another game, and it was the third game I bought was BioShock. And I remember playing it, and I was scared of horror games back then. And I knew it was a horror game, but I thought, I'm going to play it. And the thing that blew me away the most about that game was when you're have you played it? Have you played the first one?
I've ordered it. Okay. So I want to play it.
Descend down into this lighthouse, you descend down, and you just see the city. And that was me. I was just like, whoa. There's a city under the water, and it looks absolutely amazing. And I was just absolutely blown away by everything in that game. It was so good. It was so good. I don't know what. See, halfway through the game, it didn't even become scary to me anymore. It became so enjoyable that it wasn't scary to me. I just loved the whole perks idea, how you could, zap people with your hands and set them on fire. It was brilliant. And when I got BioShock 2, I honestly went to Game Station at 9 o'clock in the morning, got BioShock 2 and finished it 8 o'clock at night. I'm not joking. I spent a full day on that game and finished it in a day. I loved that game. I just love that series. It is so good. And the best thing about BioShock 2 for me was the multiplayer. Now, not a lot of people will agree. In fact, I'm sure the majority of players will not agree that it was terrible for them, but I really enjoyed it because it had those perks. You can zap people and, incinerate them and, suck them into the water. It's brilliant, And I'm just hoping, and in BioShock Infinite, it's in the sky, and you've got those sky hooks and everything, and it just looks awesome. I refuse to watch a 5-minute opening, because they've released a 5-minute opening for it. And I've refused to watch it. I don't want to watch it because I want the same feeling. It might not give me the same feeling, but I'm hoping it does. I was blown away, and it's a really good series to play. Really awesome series, and I highly, highly suggest it to you.
Well, that's the thing is that because I know BioShock Infinite's next year, and then in light of that, I'm trying to go back and play a lot of games I've missed. And one of them I've got on there is BioShock, because I intend on getting it. So what I want to do is play the original series, because I've heard so many good things about it, and I want to feel included. So it's on my list of things to play this year.
Definitely one to look out for. Next one is Tomb Raider. And I'm looking forward to it because I'm a Tomb Raider fan.
This is a reboot, isn't it? It's a reboot series.
Yeah, it's not a sequel, it's not a prequel. Nothing like that. People might call it a prequel, but no, it's a reboot, and it's an origin story also, and it's about her roots and how she gets stranded on an island as a young adult, and she has to survive essentially. Crystal Dynamics are doing it, so they were the original Tomb Raider makers. They're the ones that made Tomb Raider 1. and I'm really hoping they deliver with it, because eventually Core took over the Tomb Raider series way back in the PS1 days, and they were good at it, but it just didn't have the same feeling as the very first one. It just wasn't as good. Tomb Raider 2 was brilliant. Tomb Raider 2 was really good, and I can't remember if Chris Dynamics still had the series then. It was quite a while back, but I know Core took over, and that's a I don't even know if Core's still going, but the looks of it, Tomb Raider looks alright. From what I've seen, it looks fairly good. I'm slightly worried that it might be it's a very hands-on approach with it. There's not very many weapons in it, I don't think. I think it's all... I suppose that's good though, because it's meant to be an origin story, and she's not got her classic twin pistols or twin Uzis and stuff like that. I think there's just trying to... What someone said to me the other day was it might be going down the way of Uncharted. That's not good if it does that, because Uncharted's really good. When I've had my PS3, Uncharted was really good. I enjoyed the series. And he was the friend was saying to me that the scaling case doesn't look very puzzle-like. There's no puzzles there. And I'm hoping there are puzzles. I hope they just haven't shown them, because that's what Tomb Raider is essentially about, is the overly confusing puzzles that you can never get by. It's just, I'm hoping they have something decent in terms of Tomb Raider, and I really hope it can pick back up again and do something. They can do something with it.
Yeah, it seems like it's just the Tomb Raider in the direction it was going, it couldn't go any further.
Yeah.
And I've heard that the series has got a bit stale. So yeah. I think it makes sense in a way to reboot the series, but you know, they have to be careful, because with doing an origin story again, people already know it, so you need to make it fresh. But I've heard good things about it, and I was never a really big Tomb Raider fan, but I do remember playing the original.
Yeah.
So it's I won't make any judgments. I'll go into it with an open mind.
Alright, so the next game is releasing in 1 month's time, and it's set after Aliens. James Cameron, Aliens. Aliens, Colonial Marines. I don't know if you're interested in that at all.
Oh, I'm very much interested in that. I played the previous game. What was it called? It was the
Alien vs.
Predator. Cause it was the game where you could play as an alien, aliens, and the Predators and the humans.
Uh-huh.
And I really enjoyed that game. And I think it's from what I gather, the gameplay looks very similar to that. But is it the same people that are making it?
Marines, yeah, it's some people. People playing it. You're playing as the Marines.
Mm-hmm.
But I have heard that in the multiplayer you can play as the Xenomorphs. Which I enjoyed. I enjoyed the multiplayer really on the Alien vs Predators. This one mode called Infestation, where you'd be one alien, you would infect, you'd kill a Marine, then that Marine would become an alien until one Marine was left. And oh my god, that game mode was just see them all coming at you, and that's what I can imagine Aliens Colonial Marines will be like. It's that scene where all the aliens are crawling across the. Do you remember the scene in Aliens when the turrets are set up and the turrets are shooting at all the aliens coming through the corridor and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That's imagine happening in that game, and you absolutely crapping yourself when your little radar thing's going off.
Yeah, because see, when I was playing that game, I did the Predators first, then I did the Xenomorphs, and the last one was Marines, because when I was playing the Marines, you're walking down the corridor, and you get that. You're like, oh god, where is it?
I know it's scary. I know it's one of those sounds, and it's co-op. I think it's co-op. In fact, I'll have a look actually to see if it's co-op. Just have it up on the screen just now.
Yeah, I've got that ordered as well, because it looks very intriguing.
It looks, as I said, like that game mode. It's just, oh my god, it looks so good. It looks like something that's good to play with friends. So core features are local co-op 2 players, online co-op 4 players. That's quite interesting. And it's online co-ops 4 players. And you can have a co-op campaign, drop in, drop out. That's good that you can drop in and drop out of that.
I think we should do that. Cool campaign.
We should try it.
Yeah. I mean, it'd just be like teenagers of America. For fucking hell, you could die for fuck's sake.
Oh God, don't get me started. My brother's like that in Call of Duty. All I hear on Call of Duty is "Wow" when he dies. That's all I hear. It's absolutely hilarious. He gets so annoyed with it. Our next topic is.
Oh, but you're forgetting the game. You're forgetting Gears of War.
But I haven't really seen much about that though, so I can't really say anything about it. I'm like you with Tomb Raider. I'm a Gears of War fan, but I'm not. You know.
I love Gears of War.
You're a big Gears of War fan. Okay. You talk about Gears of War then.
I remember when my Xbox broke, and I just got a PlayStation. I got an Xbox for the sole purpose of playing Gears of War.
Mm-hmm. Gears of War 3.
Because I had to get it anyway, but it was always for that reason. From what I gather, Gears of War Judgment, it's a prequel to the series, and it takes place, I believe it's 30 days after the event. I think it's called Emergence Day. Mm-hmm. Just as everyone humans go to war with the locusts. And I don't believe you're this. I think you're a new character. You're not.
It's like your beard or.
No, I don't think so. I think you're someone else. Like I say, I'm not like you're saying, but no, you don't like to watch the opening 5 minutes. Although I like to look into it, I'm trying to stay away from everything Gears of War at the moment because I want to play the game and not know anything.
Yeah.
This is the kind of games I want to learn as I'm playing it. So I might look into exactly maybe who you're playing as and things, but I'm not going to watch any of the videos that's highlighting what the campaign is. I just want it to be a surprise. But Gears of War Judgment, I'm really looking forward to. I love it. I love everything Gears of War.
Well, it's good with the Gears of War. I might add that's great to do with a few friends as well. Mm-hmm. I've done Gears of War 1, 2, and 3 with people online. It's great. It's great to do it. Though, I mean, I've done it in really hard, the most extreme difficulty, but not in 3. I couldn't do it in 3 because it was instant death. You didn't get downed. You was just dead.
Yeah, because Gamer Rage would just go over.
Oh,
I can do it.
God, Gamer Rage is just like, it's alright. I've done the rest, but I'm not going to do this one.
Oh no, I'd lose my head.
Alright, end of the podcast. Thank you everybody for listening. And we'll be back in podcasts in a couple of weeks. So bye all.